With the economic downturn and rising tuition costs, finding and understanding funding is an essential part of graduate student life. Fortunately, there are many staff members at UCSB who can help you search for funding opportunities and answer the questions you have about financing graduate school.
I'm Francisco Herrera. I'm the Institutional Research Analyst for Graduate Division. I'm also the Extramural Funding Advisor and Fulbright Program Advisor. As the Extramural Funding Advisor, I coordinate and host funding workshops throughout the year. Also, as part of the Fulbright program, if students are interested in studying abroad through the Fulbright program, then I work with them through the entire application process. Students are also can look at the Source, which is an online funding listserv that we have. That's something students can subscribe to. That listserv comes out twice a month, and I populate that myself. I gather different fellowships and I put them in. If students are looking for funding, then they would contact me and I can help them find the best fellowship that meets their research interest. If students already have funding or have a fellowship and they want to know about how it will be paid out and how it will cover all their tuition and expenses, then they can contact the fellowship analyst, Rosie Hansen, or our assistant director of fellowships, Jenny Bischoff, and their contact information is also on the Grad Div webpage. If students have a TA-ship or a GSR, their best bet is probably to contact their department, most likely their graduate program assistant.
My name is Michael Miller. I'm the Director of Financial Aid and Scholarships here at UC Santa Barbara. So the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships here at UCSB provides graduate students with unsubsidized loans, Grad Plus loans, and also work study. In order to qualify for those three programs, students do need to complete a FAFSA, and in order to qualify for the work study program, which allows students to work on campus and also off campus, students do need to apply by March 2nd. So for graduate students, our website actually has a comprehensive list of services available, and there's a tab that's dedicated only to graduate students, which was a major enhancement to our new website. So some of the services that we do provide graduate students would be individual appointments with a financial aid advisor, which especially with schedules of graduate students can be key, and so we want to provide as many opportunities for graduate students to come in and ask questions about their particular situation. We also have something that's called a request review, or RFR for short. That allows us to adjust students' eligibility, because a lot of graduate students come in and maybe they've worked the year before and now they're no longer working because they're attending school full-time. So it allows us to recalculate their financial aid eligibility. We also have emergency loan funds available if there's any kind of a delay in a student's graduate aid, or also their student loans, or maybe their work-study paycheck. They can certainly come in and request some emergency funding from our office. So if graduate students have questions, we do have the ability to submit questions over the website, and they can also come in and see us during our regular business hours. But we also have a graduate student liaison who is our assistant director, Nathan Cook. And so if a grad student does have complicated questions, or they want to sit down with somebody, then contact our office and request a meeting with Nathan Cook directly.
I'm Molly Steen. I'm the Acting Associate Director here at Career Services. Career Services, we help students with funding primarily through helping them find jobs and paying internships. Our primary tool for doing that is through GauchoLink, which is our online database of jobs and internships. This is something that you can sign into very easily using your net ID. Just come to our website and you'll see it right there. On GauchoLink, you will find jobs and internships. These might be jobs and internships away from the Santa Barbara area. They might be in the general Santa Barbara vicinity, or they might even be jobs here on campus. Now, not all of the departments on campus do list their job openings on GauchoLink, so we also have a handout of on-campus jobs where you can find other places on campus where you could go inquire about openings they may have. Types of departments that are on here are intramural sports, the library, and even financial aid. And another way that we help graduate students with funding is through our career fairs. We offer 6 career fairs per year, at least one each quarter. At these career fairs we generally have up to 100 different employers coming, and many of them are interested in hiring graduate students. We offer graduate students a number of different things that can help them toward their funding. If you have a resume or a CV that you'd like someone to take a look at, bring it on in. We do drop-ins taking a look at those documents every day between 11 and 4. If you would like to speak with me, you could come to one of our 2 designated drop-in hours for graduate students each week, and you can check our calendar for that. In addition, we run workshops pretty much every quarter on how to write a resume and a CV, talking about the differences and similarities between those documents. And we also have a workshop on interviewing for non-academic jobs. So if you perhaps get an interview from attending a career fair, you could come in and talk with us and we can help you through what to expect and how to best succeed in that interview.
I'm the funding peer advisor working with Graduate Division, and I help students find fellowship and grant opportunities as well as other student funding opportunities on campus. As funding peer advisor, I work in the Graduate Student Resource Center in the Student Resource Building, and we have a lot of funding resources available for students. One is the Money Matters Guide, which provides a lot of financial aid information as well as other funding advice. The other thing we have is a fellowship proposal library where we have copies of successful fellowships that previous UCSB students have received, and a lot of students find it really helpful to see some of those successful proposals when they're getting ready to write their own fellowship applications. Another great funding resource we have for students is on the UCSB Grad post. In the Fund section, we post information about upcoming grant opportunities and deadlines. We have a bunch of resources that include videos that show you how to find funding. We also post student employment opportunities, as well as other just funding tips and advice. Another resource we offer students are workshops that we hold throughout the year, and these have a variety of topics. We have information on finding funding, we do workshops on postdoc funding, workshops focused on specific fellowships. And I also do one-on-one appointments with students. If you have any funding questions or concerns, you want help looking for funding and searching for funding, you can make an appointment with me. My contact information is on the Grad post.
My best funding advice would be to start early, always be thinking about funding. Once you kind of know which fellowship you're interested in, really do your research on that fellowship. Think about who you want to ask for letters of rec and let them know early, especially if they're faculty. So the sooner is always better.
So for incoming students, I would recommend borrowing only what you need to make ends meet. For the first time in our history, student loan debt has exceeded credit card debt in the United States, and so it's a major issue that's facing not only graduate students but undergraduate students as well. So my biggest piece of advice would be to budget wisely and only borrow what you need from the federal student loan programs.
Graduate students, if you are going to be looking for a job here on campus, do it now. Do it early. The sooner you get started on it, the more likely you are to get those jobs. They are popular and we want you to have the best shot at them, so get at it now.
One tip I have for incoming students is just to make use of all the resources that you have available to you. Make use of the funding search engines to make sure you're finding all the funding opportunities that may be available to you. Make use of the fellowship proposal library. Use those examples to really build on your proposals and make sure your proposals are as strong as they can be.
UCSB staff are here to help you finance your education. However, it is up to you to seek out advice, resources, and guidance. If you have any further questions about funding, here is a list of websites where you can find the contact information of the individuals in this video.